Good afternoon, everyone. I'm George Martirana, and we're presenting today, again, the Fourth World Prison segments. And I've been floating back and forth from prison stuff to non-prison stuff, but it's all intriguing stories. Today, there's a word that you know well, and that is the word gangs. Okay, gangs has been a part of American culture, in and out of prisons. They're on all the streets of the cities in this country, so much so in the south side of Chicago. It's very detrimental, and even in the city. Well, let's get back to prisons because this is the Fourth World Prison segments. And a lot of people don't know in the maximum security prisons, the penitentiary setting, there is a multitude of gangs. So much so that the wardens allowed gang day. Gang day is where they group up and they discuss whatever they discuss. I don't know, and I was never part of. But I witnessed this and tried to put, the young guys in the classroom to try to change the mental attitude of the gang segment. But also as a writer, gangs are very colorful. And I'd like to speak today about the Tri-State Gang. Leader was a guy named Tony Stinger, was right from my street. Very handsome man, always wore derby, and he was the first leader of a gang. They were called the Tri-State Gang that actually drove long distances in the 1930s. Picture them colorful cars that they used in the Humphrey Bogart movies and James Cagney movies, and they would drive long distances. When one particular episode in a book I wrote on this Tony Stinger story, they drove to Richmond, Virginia. And what they did is this was after the Depression, and there was people disliked banks, especially the poor, the working class, so they put their money in post offices. And Tony, being handsome, he procured madams, brothels in the Philadelphia area. And these madams, through the girls that work in the brothels, they would channel to him information where these traveling people between the post office and government, where large sums of money would be. And Tony's gang drove to Richmond, Virginia, and they went on. It was in broad daylight. And they went on to rob this post office. But they didn't understand in the South. Richmond was basically the South. All the store owners had weapons. So here they are robbing this post office, and guys would come out of these little stores in a row, butcher shop, grocery store, dress shop, and big shootout, major shootout. People were killed, and two members of Tony's gang was apprehended. So much so that Tony was so loyal. These two men were sentenced to death. Tony actually got a girl, pretty girl, posed at one of the guy's wives, went into the prison with a large chicken, baked chicken with weapons in it, and they had their weapons on the inside, and Tony's shooting on the outside, and Tony broke these gentlemen out. But like I said, he was a very colorful man, very handsome man. His demise was basically women. He was what you call stage store Johnny. He loved showgirls, and he was apprehended in New York by the police from Philadelphia. And lo and behold, when he was killed in New York, and his body was brought back to Philadelphia, and his family, like the street that I lived on, they went to retrieve his body, and every bone in his body was broken. So, that there was a bad end to a handsome gang guy. In them days, there wasn't gangsters or mobsters. This was the Tri-State Gang led by the handsome Tony Stinger. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, gangs are a big part of our American history, and, they're stories that should be told, and I like to tell them. So that's this week's segment. Thank you. Till we meet again.